It's Casual Friday here at the Insider Show, and as we're recording this, the team is prepping all of tonight's content. We'll give them their space so they could work. We hope you enjoyed our first ever full round live broadcast. We got to give a big shout out to the crew at SmashboxxTV. Props to them, and thanks for partnering with us so we can make that happen. Tonight, we've got the metrics breakdown, the sights and sounds, and our featured interview is the outgoing U.S. champion. So kick back, relax, and soak it all in. It's the Insider Show.
My round today was solid. I got out of the gates quickly again. Started with birdies on the first three, got the fifth, got the seventh, and then I was cruising pretty good. Got the ninth and 10th, but then I ran into a little trouble, 2 bogeys in a row on 12 and 13, and then I finished with a couple of more birdies.
Great. So talk about your rivalry with Paul, your touring partner. It must be fun, but I'm sure there's some deep competition there.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really played well enough to really push him very often. So it's a fun experience for me to make him work and hopefully see if I can shut him down.
Great.
I've settled on a Sexton, a Lazat, and a Macbeth. While I check these guys out here, you could check them out on today's Sights and Sounds.
Foot on the ground. One of the most infamous holes for losing your discs out here at Winthrop Gold is the treacherous Island number 17, and it's our hole of the day presented by Disc Golf Park. Welcome to the Disc Golf Metrics Breakdown, brought to you by the Disc Golf World Tour. Starting out tonight on this Friday edition, it's the Nate to Nate head-to-head showdown.
Nate Doss with a 67, that's an even par round today, dropping him from first place to fourth. He does maintain that lead card spot, last on the box going off tomorrow at about 2 o'clock. Today, he managed to get an eagle on 10, which was really crucial as he was over par for the front 9. 6 birdies with 3 bogeys, but the big killer in his round was those other numbers. Taking a couple of big numbers on holes, even though his green hit percentage is right around average and his putting was solid. One outside the circle putt managed to keep him at even par and not finish over. Across from him is Nate Sexton, one off the pace of the 2 8s he put up in the Wednesday and Thursday rounds, manages to get half the course on the birdies, 2 bogeys, no others. You can see that separation between Sexton and Doss right there because their green hits and their putting percentages are the same. Nate Sexton goes into tomorrow's final round with a 3-stroke lead over Ricky Wysocki and Paul McBeth. Fear the beard, Zach Melton isn't going anywhere. He's currently tied for 5th after 3 rounds out here in Rock Hill. He shot a 62, 5 under par. Pretty clean slate today. No eagles, no others. 6 birdies and a bogey. That's easy math, even I can do it. His green hit percentage is right in the middle, 44%. That's a solid number to have. His putting percentage is right in that B plus A minus range. A couple of outside the circle putts, and he's within striking distance of that podium spot if one of the players up top should fall. Look for him to finish in the top 10 pretty safely if he can keep it in the ropes and finish out on Saturday. Nobody counting out Steve Brinster. He just put down a solid 10 down 57 to jump him into a tie for 5th place. He's one of 3 players who shot 10 down today. The course was playing a little bit easier on Friday, obviously, with the way these guys were slaying it. 1 eagle, 10 birdies, and a pair of bogeys. Almost clean slate. He took a bogey on each of the front and back 9, but other than that, he was solid. 66% green hits today. That's the highest we've seen in our metric stats all week. His putting was a little bit lower than we normally see it. Brinster is solid with that straddle style and that methodical approach. 3 outside the circle putts canned, and we're looking to see what he can finish out with tomorrow. Ricky Wysocki is not going anywhere. He paired his good round yesterday with a great round today. 57, that's 10 under par. Right now he's tied for 2nd place with Paul McBeth. He did it with 11 birdies and only 1 bogey. He hit half of his greens in regulation. He made every putt he had inside the circle, plus a couple of bonus ones from outside 10 meters. 3 strokes back from Nate Sexton. Let's see what he can do tomorrow when they tee off at 2. And our final head-to-head comparison tonight is Paul McBeth and Will Schustrick. Will Schustrick stumbled a bit in the opening rounds. He didn't get off to the start he wanted, but he's done a little bit better each day since then. Today, carding a 4 under par 63, 6 birdies with 2 bogeys, but no eagles and no big numbers. His green hit percentage is a little bit higher than it has been on Wednesday and Thursday, and his putting is right about the same. Couple that with an extra putt from outside the circle, and he's on the 16th place, looking to crack that top 15, maybe even a top 10 finish at the final major of 2015. Across from him, Paul McBeth is one of the 3 players that we saw put down a 10 down 57 on Friday. He did it by way of 12 birdies and an eagle. His 2 bogeys and his 1 big number that he took really hurt him, and he could have been tied with Sexton going into the final round. His green percent hit is really good at 56, and his putter is where he's making his money. 100% not missing from inside the circle, but also look at that. 4 putts made outside the circle. If you add the 5 he had yesterday, 9 putts outside the circle in the last 36 holes. 25% of the holes he's played, he's hit a putt from greater than about 33 feet. It's Paul and Ricky chasing Nate Sexton, 3 strokes back, 18 to play. Winthrop Gold promises to deliver yet another dramatic finish, just like always. It's October, it's Rock Hill, stay tuned.
Aside from the money and the prestige, one of the coolest things about winning the USDGC is getting to take home one of these unique trophies. Will Schustrick already has 3, and tonight he's our featured interview.
It's October again, and we're here in Rock Hill, South Carolina on the eve of the 2015 United States Disc Golf Championships, and here with me is the reigning champion and 3-time United States champion, Will Schustrick. How does it feel to be back here once again?
It feels great to be on the course. I really like playing the Winthrop Gold course. I get here about a week early. I learn the changes, and then I play as many rounds as I can.
And we're on 17, the infamous Island 17, and this we were talking a little bit before, and I said, this has a lot of history and how you've won and lost this tournament. When you see this hole every year for the first time, what do you think?
It's kind of funny because I always think back of the first time that I ever played the tournament in 2007, and I was 15 years old, and I really had no idea what this hole meant or whatever it was. I couldn't throw backhand on the hole because I didn't have any short game at the time, so I'd always try to throw sidearm. And this year I might actually go back to throwing a sidearm on this hole just because of the conditions that we've practiced with throughout the week. I think it's going to be really windy coming down towards the end of the tournament, and I think it's going to factor in on your shot selection when coming down to 17.
You've won and lost this tournament on this hole, like I said. Does that ever haunt you? Do you ever think back to that, a couple years ago, and did that factor in last year in you getting your redemption?
It definitely factored in last year. I think coming down to this hole, you have to be able to execute the shot. And a lot of people who watch the shows on the internet, they think that this is one of the easier holes on the course. But when you walk up to it with a couple $1,000s on the line and you've thrown the shot probably 25 times in a row and you get them all in bounds, you don't really think twice about laying up, and you don't really think twice about going out of bounds. It's just kind of going through the motion at that point. And then when you're just a hair off one way or another, you hit the hay bale once or twice on a backhand, you think, all I need is just a little bit more. And all of a sudden you've thrown 2 in the drink, and then you're looking at a 8-pack coming down the stretch, and the last couple holes just meant nothing.
Does it kill your confidence hitting that hay bale or going a little bit long when you think you've got it dialed in?
It does and it doesn't, just because the shot selection, if you're going for a turnover and it's usually fairly windy off the lake, you're usually either going to get a drop, and you don't really see a whole lot carry out to the lake. If anything, it falls a little short.
When you saw Johnny McRae, have his struggles on this hole, what is going through your mind? You've been there before. Did you say anything to him? How was that in that moment?
Johnny actually had really high spirits, I think, the entire round, even after this hole. He knew that he still was not out of it, even when he took the number that he did on this hole. And coming into this hole, being a competitor coming from behind, you still have to know that you have a chance, because this hole is such a determining factor on the entire round.
And then right after this hole, you go up to 18. You took McBeast down. You took him down after a playoff. Take us through that moment again. You're lining up the putt on 18 the first time. What's happening in your mind?
Right when I step up to the putt, it's kind of funny because I couldn't help but smile, just because of the situation that I was in coming down the stretch. And throughout the year, I didn't really have a good year at all. I was never really in a position to win a big tournament. And I changed my putting a little bit, and I worked on a lot of stuff as much as I could, probably more than any other year in my entire disc golf career. And coming down to being an opportunity to win the USDGC on the last hole, I had to smile, just because it's satisfying to be in that position when you've put in so much time and effort, just to know that it was worth it.
And it shows. The perseverance makes a U.S. champion, and you've done it 3 times. Are you still hungry for more? Do you want a 4th? What's that level of desire like now?
I definitely would like a 4th title. I think that coming out here, I really enjoy playing this course, and I think that's one of the factors that help somebody do well on a specific course, is when you come out here and it really suits your game and you're playing well and you're more relaxed than being extremely competitive. I think that's when you're at your best, because you know that you can go through the round and you're always going to be sitting at a certain level, certain score, no matter how the round goes. As long as you keep a nice, easy mental game coming down the stretch, you know that you're going to be in a certain area, and always give yourself a chance.
What's the trick? How do you tell people who haven't won it yet? I've done this 3 times. How do you tell people to keep that easy mental focus?
The key word in my mind is just relax, and it's having people around you that you love and you can talk to and you can look at and smile whenever you mess up, and having my friend Nate and having my fiance walk around with me. It's really just relaxing, because it takes away that pressure of playing in the largest tournament of the year.
And you're getting married. You're engaged. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's a really special moment. You know, we saw at the end of last year your sisters and your then girlfriend, now fiance, swarming you and just showering you with love and, you know, appreciation for what you've done. How did that moment feel? You know, rank that among the moments in your career.
And it's really, really hard to describe, because at that moment, my entire feelings and emotions were just completely numb, because I can just think of all the people, my family in California, my family in Tennessee, my family that's here, and just I know that they're all watching. I know that it's satisfying to make your family and your friends proud, and something to show off for the rest of your life. So it's really hard to explain.
What is the measure of success? You know, you said you want to do this for a long time. You want to, you know, be a lifelong professional. If you could go and look back at your career, what's your measure of success?
The measure of success for me would be whenever I started to get more involved in disc golf, compared to the level of, I guess, popularity to when I'm kind of phasing out of the game.
So I know you've got a tournament to focus on at the moment, but looking ahead, you know, what's next for Will Schustrick? You know, on the course or off the course, what's next for you?
Really, when it comes over to the off season, I work pretty hard on growing Prodigy Disc, and growing my own brand, doing some clinics. I try to visit a city, do a couple clinics over the winter, because during the tour season I don't get a whole lot of time to really put away so I can help grow the sport compared to practice and stay at a high competitive level.
So you're disc golf 24/7, 365. You're all in.
Yeah.
Does it ever get tiring?
You know, it gets tiring whenever you're doing a lot of traveling. You know, whenever you go to Europe, it takes a couple days. Whenever you drive 25 hours across the country, it takes a couple days. But honestly, you really just get adapted to it.
Nice and relaxed. Will Schustrick, the 3-time world champion. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And good luck this week. Now we'll go back to the Insider Show.
Friday's top plays brought to you by Innova Champion Disc. Here we go. At number 5, our current leader, Nate Sexton, on 17, looking for his final birdie of the round. Just outside the circle, nice straddle putt. He'll go into tomorrow with a 3-stroke lead. Number 4, here's KJ Nebo, doesn't matter how you say it, he can can the putt anyway. From his knees on the tricky number 4, that's a birdie. That's a picture with Rock Searle. Johnny McRae, the legendary turbo putter on hole 2 from way outside. Look at the power, never a doubt. Right in, just like he's been known to do for many, many years. Johnny McRae. Number 2, Paul McBeth, in the middle of his charge to try to claim that Grand Slam title. Big hyzer, hole 12, second shot. Skipping in, hits the cage, almost goes in from an eagle from about 400 feet away. And number 1, from the performance flight, Ståle Hakstad. Sorry if I said that wrong. He is the Norwegian champion. This is hole 14. It's gonna go off the pavement and into the basket for an ace. Hashtag SC Top 10.
The landscape continues to shift, and some familiar names have found their way to the top of the standings. Nate Sexton sits perched atop a pivotal moment in his career, much like Steve Brinster in 2013. Sexton has the opportunity to prove he's not just good, he's great. The sake bomb has exploded into the mix, and Paul McBeth has found himself in an all-too-familiar situation, within striking distance with 1 round to play. Nate Doss's slide today seemingly has him on the outside looking in, but you never say never in October, at least not if history has anything to say about it. So happy Championship Eve, all you disc golf diehards. Sleep tight, and no peeking at your presents. You'll join us one more time tomorrow night after it all goes down on The Insider Show.